Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this, our very first Tech Bytes digital product showcase. We wanted to bring you this concept as we know that suppliers are currently unable to see many of you in practices, and we also wanted really to have a chance for you to see what products are out there. Since the last event of the year was at 100% Optical, the end of January in Excel London. So everything you'll be able to see today, you'll be able to revisit on our website. So it's being recorded. So anything, don't worry if you miss something, you'll be able to go back and access the video, and you can share it with your colleagues, and you'll be able to access it via the Optical Insider, which hopefully you receive the newsletters every day, twice a week, but you can also access it via the 100% Optical website as well. So we're going to be giving you the option of registering your interest for any of the particular products that you see today at the end of the webinar. So don't worry if you want to get in touch with people or you see things on the screen, you'll all be able to contact people afterwards as well. So today's webinar is very interactive. We want you to ask questions of our panelists, and we'd like to either, you can do that in one of two ways. You can either put a question into the question box, and Jayshree and I will ask those questions at the end of the presentation, or you can raise your hands. So on the screen now you should see, I've circled in red the green hand. If you raise that, we can turn on your microphone and you can talk to our panelists directly when we come to Q&A at the end. And I'll turn on the microphone so you can talk to people. So I just wanted to then really introduce you today our panelists. So we've got 5 really exciting products and innovative people who are going to present to you. I'm really excited today about the type of range of products that we've got. So firstly, we've got Gavin Neat, who's the CEO of Neatbox. Simon Berry, optometrist and inventor of products from Optimec. Nancy Black, CEO of Coty Vision. And Bhavin Shah from Akimo and co-founder of Akimo. Mike Riley, Business Development Director of Lunia Technologies. And finally, my co-presenter today, Jayshree Vasani. Hi, Jayshree, how are you?
Oh, I'm good, thanks. Here we go. Here we go. That's it. Let's get that sorted. Have we got me on? We have. Hello.
I've got you on there.
Hi there. Hi to everyone. Yeah, I'm good today and fighting fit for a Monday.
So thank you very much. We've been talking over the last few weeks, Jayshree, about this format. So yeah, you will join one of our webinars and we had a chat afterwards about some of the challenges that perhaps opticians and optometrists have got at the moment. And yeah, so tell me a bit about what your idea was.
Yeah, so basically the idea was that there are lots of people out there, small companies who are wanting to get the products out there. I myself, dispensing optician, I'm a practical examiner for Abdo, lots of little bits and pieces of things, but also 6 years ago, I had a little business of my own, and that was a niche product, okay? So it's a one-person business, you're doing the whole thing from A to Z. And the difficulty there was that, you know, if you're a newbie or a product that's new out there, it's hard to get the message out, okay? And you can do the big shows, but there's a lot of money involved, and you just sort of think, right, how is that going to work for me? You know, you may not be in that situation to go to the big show. You may not have enough traction, you may not have enough leverage. So I was sort of thinking to myself, well, how can that move forward? And in the current situation where virtual is now very acceptable, people are going on, you know, online to do lots of different things. Would it be a good idea to have a little, you know, like a little bite of information? So that's where Tech Bytes was born. That's why I pitched the idea to you to say, Nathan, how about this? You know, you've got lots of people out there who want to go on, but actually, and want access to people who are wanting to know about products, especially in the current situation. Why don't we do this? Why don't we do a little, you know, a little blip of a bite, and then people can just give the feedback and see what they think.
Brilliant. And excellent. So we've had a really good take up. So hopefully people find this useful, and hopefully it's something we can do regularly as well. So yeah, excellent. I think now would be a good time to meet our panelists. So the way this is going to work, we've got 5 people to pitch to you, 5 minutes each, but they're also going to take a couple of minutes with Jayshree to talk about themselves. So Jayshree, should we move on and invite our first panelist?
Sure. So the first panelist we've got, I've got lots of things to read through, so pardon me for reading from the paper, but there's lots of things I want to make sure I get right. So the first person we've got is Gavin Neat from Neatbox, and he's got a product called the Welcome app. He's the founder of Neatbox. Gavin has won lots of awards. He's won the prestigious International Zero Project Award recently, 2019. And Zero Project focuses on the rights of people with disabilities globally, providing a platform to share innovative products to assist in creating a world without barriers. Okay, and I think one of the most recent things you won, Gavin, is a new Disability Tech Award, and your competitors were Microsoft and Facebook, I believe. Tell us more, Gavin. 2 minutes about yourself and your life hack or book, or whatever you want to tell us about.
Well, first of all, thank you very much indeed for inviting me on. And you're right, the opportunity to speak to so many professionals in this particular sector is phenomenal. And like this, it makes me wonder why we haven't done it years ago. Talking about years ago, anybody who's looking at my picture and then looking at me is going to think, oh my goodness me, lockdown has taken it has been very hard on Gavin. But this photograph was a long time ago, I have to tell you. It's only because Richard Branson's been pushed to the side that, yeah, anyway. So yeah, you were asking us a little bit earlier about the tech or the apps that we really love. And I used to work for Guide Dogs for the Blind. I was a guide dog mobility instructor for 18 years. I trained people how to use guide dogs. And back in 2006, people were turning up to train with their dogs, and they would have phones with them. And that was just like, oh, it was an epiphany for me. It was like, this is going to be amazing how people can interact with their phones. And just recently, well, it's always been churning. They've been churning new apps out, but the ones that I absolutely love are apps specifically for visually impaired people, Soundscape and Seeing AI. These are both Microsoft apps that are only available on Apple devices, which is just phenomenal. It just shows that the possibility there is that a company like Microsoft can say, no, we're going to do this because we're going to put it on Apple because that's where visually impaired people use this product. And that's just a mind-blowing moment where you realize the world can produce solutions without having to worry about, oh, that's not our kit, we'll put it on somebody else's kit. So Seeing AI and Soundscape, I totally recommend them. They are awesome.
Okay, great. That sounds good. Okay, are you ready to start your presentation?
Yeah.
You've got 5 minutes. Let's get you on. You're all set. Let's do it. And there will be a klaxon at the end of 5 minutes, Gavin. So we're not being rude. Gavin, Nathan's on the timer for us here. So tell us when you're ready to go.
I don't want to klaxon. I want to try and get it in 4 minutes and 49 seconds. We'll go for that.
Okay.
So, this is the sound you're hearing.
That's the klaxon. Right, there you go.
Okay, right, I'm out of here. So yeah, earlier I worked for Guide Dogs for the Blind for 18 years, and as a guide dog mobility instructor, you're following people around all the time, and you want to do that more and more from a distance. And one of the challenges that I had found was that as you're walking, as you observe your client from a distance, see how they interact with customer service teams. And I was becoming increasingly frustrated at some of the stories that you'll see. The next slide. Okay. We'll get there in a second. Anyway, so if you just have a brief look through some of these are instances around the world of where a disabled person, irrelevant of visual impairment or hearing impairment, whatever, is finding it challenging and beyond challenging, discriminatory when they're interacting with somebody in customer service. And there's a very good reason for this. It's because the people in customer service don't know what to do. They don't know how to interact with the person who's coming through the door. And there's a reason for that. It's because traditional staff training is such that we train somebody and then expect that 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later, they're going to remember that information. And of course, bearing in mind that 75% of people who walk into shops who are disabled have hidden disabilities. So unless they actually self-declare, you're not even going to know what the condition is that would be useful to know in order to deliver a better service to them. And that's a massive challenge. Now, if you just cast your mind back to, if you're of an age that you'll remember the two Ronnies. The two Ronnies used to have a sketch. In fact, the most famous one, look it up later, is Four Candles. And when the door opens on that old hardware store, a bell rings. And I realized that if I could ring the bell before somebody walks through the door, then I could actually use that moment, or the 3 minutes maybe, to train the person in the shop. So this next slide shows you exactly what we did. We put a geofence around a building. This next slide, I'm not controlling the slides. We put a geofence around a building. And a person with a mobile phone who's using our app, the Welcome app, it's called Welcome by Neatbox, as they walk towards that building, they hit the geofence. When they hit the geofence, a message automatically goes to the customer service team and says, this person is about to walk through the door. This person who has a hearing impairment is just about to walk through the door. This person called John, who would like you to know that they have a hearing impairment, is about to walk through the door. Not only that, they get an overview of what it is to have a hearing impairment and top tips on how to interact. And that could be something so simple like turn the music down. But it could also be make sure you don't have a light source behind you so that if they are lip reading, then you're not going to be blinded out by the white light that you've got behind you. These are tiny, tiny little things, but they make a massive difference. The solution, Welcome app, is totally pan-disability. It covers all disabilities. And increasingly, we've got people downloading the app, which is free, and using it in the stores that we're available in. Now, we only launched in 2018. And as I say, it's a pan-disability solution. But our biggest challenge to start with was educating people what this could do for their business. And that took us 6 to 12 months to start getting people educated that traditional staff training wasn't enough. If you think back to that whole Henry Ford quote, which was, if I'd asked them what they'd have wanted, they would have said faster horses. Well, that's exactly what was happening here. We would say, what is it you would like? And they would say, we want them to have better staff training. I want their training to be delivered in a better way, because that wasn't inside their remit. That's not what they were inclined to be thinking about. So what we were doing, finding something that nobody had ever had before. Initially, it was a real challenge, but over the last 6 to 12 months, we've now got a massive collection of really high value and lower value clients, which is totally brilliant because it covers all sectors. So this next slide shows you exactly who we're working with already. And this isn't all of them, but this is a few of them. And you'll see on here that it's from a Falkirk Community Trust all the way to Royal Bank of Scotland. We're now in 15 Royal Bank of Scotland branches across the UK, most in Scotland right now, but increasingly more and more people are including them. NHS Tayside are just about to go live at Nine Wells Hospital. We've got theatres like the Queen's Hall, or indeed Nuffield Health, Coates Bank, Edinburgh Printmakers, Headway Ireland, Falkirk Wheel, Edinburgh Airport. These guys are all using our system to help their staff provide better service to the person who's coming through the door. It's a SaaS model. The business pays a monthly subscription. We just log them into the site every day. They log in every day. They can see exactly how they need to interact with people, and then from there they can provide the service that the people need before they walk through the door. We are really keen to get this into our first optometrists. There is somebody sitting in this audience right now who will be the first optometrist in the world to install this, in the world. And the first one is going to get all of that media attention. I want it to be you, and I want you to contact me, and here are our contact details. Drop me a line. There is other information the guys will be sending out, but you'll find me. gavin@neatbox.com is my email address. Write to me, or hello@neatbox.com, and I will give you the information to make yours the first. Take it from me, the second, third, and the 100th is going to be the best. We want Britain to be, and Ireland indeed, because we're live there just now. We want our countries to be the best and first in the world. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to hearing from you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Gavin. Sorry we lost your camera there. I'm not sure what happened, but sorry about that. But we got lots of that in full.
I didn't get dragged off the stage.
You avoided the klaxon. Brilliant.
Yeah, amazing.
Thank you very much.
Right.
So questions at the end. Right, okay, so next up.
Okay.
Jay, over to you.
Okay, so next person we've got is Simon Berry. I know Simon really well. Simon is a optometrist and business owner, a winner of the RNIB Pioneer Award for Campaign of the Year 2017, an editor-in-chief of Clinical Optometry magazine, a co-supervisor of 3 MSc projects at Durham University, and the inventor of the vision fixation system. So who says you can't have a portfolio career as an optometrist? Simon is living proof of that. And over to you, Simon. So Simon, 2 minutes about yourself and your life hack or trick or app or book or whatever you're going to do.
No problem. Yeah, so hi Jay, my name's Simon Berry. I'm an optometrist from Durham. I opened my own practice 18 years ago, independent practice 18 years ago, and we did not have a patient base. And I've also worked as a specialist optometrist at Sunderland Eye Infirmary, where I've helped run a paediatric clinic there for the last 25 years. And over the years, I seem to be doing more and more work with both children and adults with learning disabilities. It's work I really enjoy because it's never the same, it's always a little bit different. And that's where my idea for the visual fixation came from, is to try and make an eye test a bit more accessible to patients with a learning disability. So a little life hack for you then. So this is a great way to teach anatomy to children. So if you put your hand on the desk like this and draw back your middle finger, and while you're in that position, you wave your thumb, wave your index finger, wave your little finger, and now try and move your ring finger. And the reason that 95% of the population can't do that, so your fingers move because of tendons, and there's only one tendon that connects these two fingers. So if you stretch the tendon too much, then you can't move the other finger. Quick little trick.
Okay, good. Thanks for that. That's great. Okay, something a bit different there. That's what we expect from you, Simon. So thanks for that. Okay, are you ready to do your 5-minute presentation? And is Nathan ready with the 5 minutes timer?
I am ready.
Okay,
yeah.
Go.
Yeah, so I work a lot with patients who have a learning disability and with autism. And a lot of these patients find it difficult to engage with an optometrist, and they can find an eye test quite scary. So the visual fixation system is a device to get the attention of a tricky patient. It can be used for various different clinical tests, but it was primarily invented to be used with the retinoscope, the dynamic retinoscopy or cycloplegic retinoscopy. It uses a mobile phone as a target, meaning that you can display a photograph or a video that's really going to get that patient to engage. So you set up a suitable target on your phone. It could be your phone or the parent's phone or the carer's phone. You can put a picture of the family dog. In this case, we're going to put Peppa Pig on. And the noise from the video also helps engage the patient. There is a cartridge on the VFS that the phone clips into. And currently this fits every phone on the UK market. So the patient looks through. And as the optometrist, you can see the eyes and you're in direct line of sight as the patient is watching the video. Hopefully you can see that. So using that setup, it's possible to do lots of different tests, but I originally invented it to measure a cognitive lag with patients with Down syndrome. And I think the dynamic retinoscopy is a very underutilized and very useful technique for us as opticians. It's getting a bit of a resurgence at the minute because of the, it's a very useful measurement. It's a needed measurement when you're using myopia control. And the visual fixation system has two advantages on the current devices on the market at the minute. The first is that you're able to display a target that you know that patient is going to engage with, so you don't get a false positive because you know they want to focus or want to accommodate on that target. And the second is it's the only device that measures a cognitive lag on the visual axis. All other ways of measuring it are measuring off the visual axis. And it's capable of measuring the cognitive lag using both the monocular estimation method and the knot method calculation. You simply fit a different handle depending on which technique you're using. This is the handle for monocular estimation technique, and this is the handle for the knot method. There is a different scale on either side depending on which working distance you're using. And the handles are designed as quick release because you don't want to tie up your ret onto one device in the middle of a busy clinic. So hopefully you can see this. When you want to use the device, the ret goes in, you lift it up, you use it, take your measurement, and then the ret comes out. So it was primarily invented to measure a cognitive lag, but it can also be used for any direct line of sight examination. So I've used it to check frame fits, to measure PD, to do cover tests, indirect ophthalmoscopy, or just a gross general examination. It's useful for any patients that you have difficulty engaging with, so whether that's babies or young children, patients with learning disabilities, or also patients with dementia. It grabs attention just when you need it. So the visual fixation system is available to buy from the manufacturer Optical, and I think there's a leaflet with this that's going to have all their contact details on. And I think we're just going to show a video of the visual fixation being used. I can't talk through the videos, just to explain. This is one of my patients. She's non-verbal, and I was demonstrating she does engage with the budgie stick, but when I show the visual fixation system, the reaction is much better.
Good. Okay.
5 minutes.
Okay, great. Nathan, is that right, timing wise?
50 seconds left. So yes, Simon's
Oh, wow.
Simon mentioned the handout, which is available on the on your box. You should see handouts. So there's a leaflet there for Optimec.
Brilliant. Thank you, Simon.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Brilliant. Right. So next, we're on to. Let me just share my screen. We're now going to talk to Nancy Black. So Nancy, can you turn on your camera?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Let's just do this then. Hang on. Okay, so introduction for Nancy. Nancy is known for eyewear brand development and distribution in the optical industry. Her skill set is marketing strategy, sales and brand management, and new business development. Okay, people may know her from companies she has worked with: Polaroid Eyewear, Dorigo, Mondotica, and she's the owner of the Safaro brand and now the co-owner of Coty Vision. So Nancy, 2 minutes about yourself and your app that you would like to tell us about. Is it an app? Is it a book? Whatever you think.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. Also, just a little bit about myself first is that I'm joining this webinar from Northern Italy. I came out before meetup for some appointments with our factories, and I didn't get a flight back. So I'm here. I've been with family and friends, and it's been absolutely fine. And we've managed to actually use the time really creatively and constructively, managing to work remotely with our suppliers here. So it's had its challenges, particularly with Wi-Fi and with IT issues, which I'm sure a lot of you at home have had the same problems. My favorite app would have to be Instagram. I find it an absolute wonderful platform to share our products, to reach our audience, and to see new market trends. And also, I find that that platform is constantly evolving and really challenging me to learn new things. They have a lot of additional programs that link into it. So I'm learning a lot. It's challenging. I love to be challenged. So I find that also for us in our product-based business, that is something really, really crucial for us to get out there. And one last thing, thank you for mentioning Safaro. Yes, this is another brand in our portfolio. Many of those attending might recognize us from 100%, where we've had a booth, but we've also been on the Catwalk show. But as we only have 5 minutes for this webinar, I just wanted to focus on our latest news.
Great. Okay, so are you ready to start your presentation? Do you want to get your screen up?
Let's try. Let's hope that the
Yeah.
that the technology allows me to do this. And
Yeah. Let's keep our fingers crossed here.
yeah, exactly. Let's see. With any hope, this will go fine.
Okay.
Just while it's loading. Is that okay?
Yeah. No.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. We've got you full. Yeah, we've got the full screen there. Thank you. Right. So starting now.
Oh, super. Okay.
Are we ready,
yes,
Nathan?
I only have 5 minutes, and
Yes.
Yeah. Go.
okay. So yes, I know I only have 5 minutes, and the time will absolutely fly by. Let's see if I'll be the first to get the klaxon. So I'll get started. I'd like to welcome you and ask you to come on in and discover our business. Nice to be here. As you know, my name is Nancy, and I have a co-partner in my business, Julie. Julie's joining the webinar, but she's not visible here. So we are the founders of the UK reading glass and accessories brand, Coty Vision. And Coty is an acronym for Chuckle on the Inside. We have offices in Nottingham and in York. And we've been around in the industry for quite some time. I think between Julie and I, we probably have clocked up something like 50 years of combined experience in supplying frames to the optical industry. Our aim is to share our passion for eyewear and to inspire boldness and celebrate our unique personalities. Glasses chains are the hottest trend for summer. You've probably seen an increased awareness of glasses chains. It seems that most of the super brands have launched an image piece and have graced their catwalks with these super chunky chains. Here you have images that I've put together from Gucci, Prada, Fendi, Stella McCartney, and Chanel. But also publications such as Vogue here, Marie Claire, and also Elle have dedicated print space to this new trend, saying that they're making the summer comeback and that they're not only for grannies. So a quick look at our chain offering. This first slide is our handmade knitted collection, which is called Amore Italia. And here I've just featured 4 of the different chains, but each one that we're showing here would become available in a variety of other colors. This is our pearl offering, which each of these are hand strung. And I want to point out that the chains here are not used just for sunglasses, are not used just for optical frames and readers. In the previous slide in here, you see that they're actually being worn with sunglasses. So this trend has really widened up the scope for a sales opportunity by including a younger audience and having fashion accessories also for sunglasses. Here's a few more of our chunkier chains. And I want to point out that we've developed a construction where on each of the end pieces, we have incorporated a lobster claw, and that attaches to the end piece. Now that lobster claw can obviously open up and the silicone end piece can be removed so that each of our chains can be converted also into a necklace. So here's just an image of me wearing it as a glasses chain, and then to see how effective it is also to be converted and to be using it as just a stylish necklace. Here is just an overview of more of our entry-level product that we have available, and to give you an idea of the depth of colors that we have available. Our ideal minimum buy-in, we would suggest to be 12 pieces, although of course we're always flexible for business opportunities, but we feel that this would give a good depth and options available to the customers. And we have a program available where we can provide various display solutions based on the order volume. Now, while I've been here in Italy, I've actually managed to collaborate with a factory in northern Italy, in Bergamo, which was the hardest hit region. And we have developed a limited edition rainbow chain, which actually has arrived now into the UK. And we have 2 options, the matte version and a shiny version. And for each chain that we sell, we're going to be giving a contribution to NHS. And we created a dedicated pouch for this product with a little encouraging message that says, alone we are strong, together we are stronger. Now, quick look moving on to the reading glass market, we feel that there's also an opportunity here. The UK is faced with an aging population, where the over 55 expected to account for 1/3 of the total population by 2026. So this will allow an expansion in the market for prescription eyewear. Looking at the Mintel report, they suggest that the UK market size for ready readers is 200 million, which equates to about 12 million pairs sold annually. So Julie and I went to look at this trend on chains and combining fashion and function, and we have developed our take on the Coty Vision necklace reading glass, which is a little illustration here. So how it works is that you select your style, you select your power, and then you have additional chains that you can use to mix and match. So once you have the kit with the magnet construction, when we have got the technology registered for this product, then you can mix with other colors and other types of chains available. So this is an illustration to show how it's used. It's basically worn around the neck, and it's lifted to read small print like a magnifier. So they're always available at your fingertips. No more looking around the house or in your handbag to find your reading glasses, or worn on top of your head. So for more information, you can contact us at www.cotyvision.com. We're also on Facebook and on Instagram, and anybody interested can also find us on the Safaro platform. Now, there's a short demo video which we would like to share with you. But before I hand back to Nathan, I want to thank you again and ask you to join us in raising our glasses.
Okay.
The alarm was meant to go off in the middle of the video, Nancy, but I think we were enjoying the music, so
Okay.
got away with that. Thank you, Nancy. Right, so who do we have next? I think
Got Bavin next.
Bavin next. So
Bavin next.
I'm just going to share my screen. So Bavin, can you turn on your camera?
Yep, turning on now.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, so introduction for Bavin, yeah? Okay, so this is Bavin Shah, a multi-award-winning behavioural optometrist and business owner. Some of the awards you won, Bavin: Technology Practice of the Year 2020 finalist, Optician Award, Children Contact Lens Practice of the Year 2019. So it becomes a bit of a habit, I think, once you start. So that's good news. And you're the co-founder and chief optometric officer of Optical. So 2 minutes about yourself, Bavin, and your life hack or app that you want to recommend.
Great. Thank you very much for that great introduction, and thank you, Nathan and your team, for allowing me to present. So I'm Bavin Shah. I graduated from UMIST in 1996, which then went on to become the University of Manchester. I worked for a small optical group, and after I'd been seeing a few kids, and they were struggling with their sight, but they actually had good VA and good vision. So after a bit of investigation, I actually discovered behavioural optometry, which had been in practice in the UK since the 70s and in the US since the 40s. So I embarked on the course by the BAVO, British Association of Behavioural Optometrists, in 2008, and understood a lot more about the visual system, how it affects our ability to learn and ability to read. And I realised I couldn't practice some of this within a normal practice, especially within a multiple. So I took the plunge in 2009 to open my own practice, Central Vision Opticians, as an outlet for my passion for the industry and for learning and helping people sight. And that practice then, as I said, went on to become award-winning. I've been a technophile for a long, long time. I started developing websites in 1999. I've also gained a qualification in network engineering during a sabbatical in 2003. I've been involved in the tech scene for a long time, since about 2015, and advising companies and been a business mentor for the British Library. Now, for my favourite app, I love to help children to read. I love to read myself, but I'm finding myself that I'm getting the kind of lack of time. So I love Audible. It allows me to keep my reading. I listen in the car, on journeys, and just to add a little life hack in there, I actually listen at 1.5 times speed, which sounds a bit strange for the first 20 seconds or so, but once you adapt to it, actually you can get through books much, much faster. That's
great. Okay, that's great. Thanks a lot. Are you ready for your presentation? Do you want to do your presentation?
Yeah, share my
Get yourself
screen.
on screen and then we'll start.
Yeah. So, and if you can see my ready.
Okay. So should we start? You know when you're ready?
Ready to go. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, we're ready, Nathan.
Yep. Go.
Okay,
Great.
go.
Yeah, let's go. So I'm the co-founder of Optical and the chief optometric officer. We started a few years ago. Now our world has completely changed overnight. I mean, everything is different, and our industry as well. It's going to need to change. It's going to need to transform and reimagine itself. Just as a result of something as simple as an infection, a pandemic that's spread around the world. And during this time, we've got time to reflect, to think about what the world is going to be like post-COVID. What's our industry going to be like? What are we going to be providing? And there's so many new opportunities, and really we're going to be looking at new income streams. So what does Optical do? In a nutshell, it allows you to quickly and easily identify those with reading difficulties by using eye tracking technology. So we have some text in the software on your laptop, and then you use our hardware that looks at the eye movements. Now, I'm going to just be sharing my screen with you in a moment, just to show you a live plot of how we would look at someone's eye movements. And this is a child who was having some reading difficulties, but actually on a normal eye test, they had good VA, they were able to see clearly, they only had a minimal, kind of a low prescription. But have a look at what happened when their eyes were reading. Now, what you're going to see some text, and you're going to see some moving lines, and those lines are showing you where each eye is pointing while they're reading. There we go, and then play. Now, if you see these lines, you can just see how they're kind of jumping around, and that's how his eyes were jumping around while he was reading. So it was really difficult for him. He was not reading fluently, and the parents could see exactly what was happening while he was reading, and they were actually quite shocked at how difficult he was finding things. Now, I said he had a low prescription, so he had a low power prescription, plus 50, and what we do is I have some of those ready to try out. So when I tried them out on him, have a look at how his results were there, and I'm going to just play this little clip. So you're going to see this is what can be shared with the parent, and they can see suddenly now the lines are nice and straight. He's reading much more closely to the lines. He was reading much more fluently. You can just hear that difference as well. And when you show the parents that this is what impact it makes with a pair of reading glasses, it shows them straight away. And I'm just going to share that other screen. You can see the difference there. How it's really there's quite a mess actually with the way his eyes were pointing. So let me go back to the presentation. So here we have a patient opportunity, and there's different patient demands. So now these kids have been at home with their parents, and one of the things I've heard right near the beginning of the lockdown is that someone has said parents are going to realise that it wasn't the teacher that was the problem. They're going to be spending time with their kids and seeing how they're learning, how they're reading, and they're going to identify a lot of kids who have difficulties, and we're going to be there to help these kids. So parents will spend nearly £15,000 a year on their kids to help them. And imagine if your child was struggling at school or reading, you would want to put all your resources, all your time, effort, and money to help your child, because it's going to make a difference. So is Okimo for you? If you're a practice that sees a lot of children, then yes, this is an essential tool. Children are spending a third of their lives either in school or learning or reading, and that's just during those 14 years before they even go to university. So it's an essential tool. If you examine dyslexics, if you're doing colorimetry, and you want to demonstrate that you're providing advanced eye care and you understand your patients, you understand the children that you're seeing. And why Okimo? It's a 15-minute test. It takes a 5-minute test. Sorry, it takes just a few minutes to get those results. You only need a laptop, our tracker, and our software, and you can quickly identify those with reading difficulties. And it gives you that instant visual demonstration of those reading difficulties, just like I showed you. And you're establishing yourself as a trusted expert and a leader in technology. If you're a children's expert or your practice is based around children's vision, then it's one of the things that's essential. And obviously, ultimately, new opportunities, we want to increase our income. Parents will spend that extra money to have these kind of tests so that they can help their children when they're reading. We did a study over a couple of months where we tested every child that came in. Now, we do get a lot of kids coming because of our speciality. Now, the kids that we tested, 60% had some kind of reading difficulty, visual tracking. 54% with just low-powered reading glasses, we improved their reading ability. 6% needed a specific tinted lens, and about 15% saw me for an in-depth assessment, for behavioural optometry assessment, where we checked more detail. And the parents, we shared the results with the parents, and they shared it with the school, they shared it with their other friends, and we got more referrals. And we're looking at adding at least 10K to the bottom line, so it makes a huge difference. So thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions, please send me an email or check out our website. Thank you.
Brilliant. Just in time. Well done, Davin.
Oh, well done. Good.
Brilliant. So everyone's keeping on time, which is great. Right. Excellent. So on to our last presenter.
Yeah.
So Jay,
okay. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. So our last presenter is Mike Riley. Mike is well known as a dynamic optical industry business development management consultant. He's had a career spanning 25 years. I know he doesn't look it, Mike? You're looking good, Petal. Seasoned in operating globally in new markets across international territories, and has worked for Hilco, Bosch & Lomb, Rodenstock, Ultralaser, Optos, Heidelberg, and you are now the Business Development Director for Lenovo Technologies. 2 minutes about yourself, Mike, and your app or life hack, please.
Okay, thanks, Jay. Thanks for the introduction. Don't really need to add anything after that, I think. Yeah, so Mike Riley, Business Development Director for Luno Technology, who are a brand that a lot of you will not know. We have 3 brands in the portfolio. Visionics is one brand, which is what I'm going to be talking about today. We also own Wico and Brio, the edging brands, which you'll probably be more familiar with from a global perspective. So the core business with regards to Luno Technology is wavefront imaging, and I'll talk to you more about that when we get onto the actual specific product that I'm going to introduce to you today. But we do cover a full range of all optometry products within the marketplace, and we're doing our best to be sort of seen and known within the industry in the UK now. So onto my, I guess, favourite app. A lot of people who know me will know that my secret passion is musicals, and my hobby, when I'm allowed to and have got time to, is to do a little bit of singing and dancing and get on stage and just effectively show off. And I recently discovered an app called Encore Radio, which is just designed to play music from musicals. Helps me relax, helps me when I'm in the gym, helps me have a good sing-along, most of the time when nobody's listening, I would hope. But if you are into that kind of music and you want 24 hours worth of that, then Encore Radio is the one you need.
Okay, brilliant. That's great. Thanks, Mike. Okay, you ready to do your presentation?
Yep, great. I will introduce the product to you, and then we're going to play you a short video, and then I'll just go through some short slides just to talk about the product in a bit more detail. So The product is a VX120. It's a multi-diagnostic platform, and we'll play the video now. Over to you, Nathan, and then I'll tell you a bit more detail afterwards.
Okay, start, yeah. Okay.
Great, thanks for that. So I'll just talk you through a little bit more detail. So what you saw there was one system. Oh, showing my screen. I'll show you these slides. So what you saw there was a system that had multi-functions to it. So the VX120 Plus, it's a 7-in-1 system. So effectively, it's an auto refraction, which is driven by wavefront technology, which is our USP. So it measures 1,500 points of light as opposed to just 1 or 2 points with normal auto refraction. It has keratometry. We provide you with a day and night refraction because it has an aberrometer within the system. Tonometry is in there with a Keeler air puff, and pachymetry as well, which shows an image of the anterior chamber, and then put those two together and we will give you corrected ocular pressures. It does cataract screening and monitoring, and including a lock scale on there for monitoring cataracts, and top-end topography for orthocare and other specialist contact lens fitting. So that was the 7-in-1 system, and then last year we introduced a 10-in-1 system, which we added a dry eye monitoring to. So now, with all of the above, all the 7 things that I've just told you about, it now has tear breakup time, tear meniscus value, and a high-definition camera for looking at the meibomian gland and lid analysis. This isn't done by infrared. It's just done by the high definition camera. And it's completed with an Efron grading scale for diagnosing, monitoring, and following up. And you can see the screen there, which is a summary screen. Here's those 3 measurements that you've taken. We added some customer marketing to it, which we thought was very important. So it allows you to market a dry eye session within your practice, something that hopefully you could charge for and put a value to. So there are customer folders there. There's leaflets for you to give out to patients to consider in dry eye as part of the commercial side of things. We also do probably 5 or 6 different versions of the VX range. This is just the entry-level one, which only has ultrafraction keratometry, day and night refraction, and topography, and cataract screening. So they all come at different price categories as well. So we looked at post-COVID patient journey and what we could offer you. We're really focusing on pre-screening and refraction using multi-diagnostic products. So how can we improve and change the new normal? We're looking for a cost-effective and safe solution for the practitioner and staff, leading to smooth and safe journey for the patient. Less time spent on less pieces of equipment giving more results will be key. Less time with the patient overall will help minimise risk and also support being able to see more patients, which I know is a concern. Visiononics products are multi-result platforms, so we're created to save time, simple to use, all at an affordable price. All our products, very importantly, now come with a tablet for distance screening, and all results can be seen in the Optoms room via free software licenses. We actually did a test the other week where we were doing a refraction on our iRefract system, and it was being done in France, and we were actually refracting a patient who was in our R&D department in Israel. And we did that live, and it was quite exciting to see. So telemedicine is something for the future we're looking at as well. So thank you very much for your time. Thanks for listening. Any more information can be found, if you can email me directly at n.riley@lunotech.com or on the website. And I look forward to hearing from you. And if you have any questions, that'd be great to hear from you. So thank you very much for your time.
Right.
Perfect. Excellent.
Oh,
So
just heard the klaxon then. Very good.
I can't turn my alarm off. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mike. And brilliant. Everyone kept to time, which was amazing. So
amazing, yeah.
So right, I'll just take back presenter controls, and now we're going to go to take questions. So we've already got some in already, but keep typing them in. And also, if you put your hand up, you can ask them directly to our panel. So remember that there's the hands is the signal. You can raise your hand and I can turn on your microphone and we can you can talk directly to us or type in the question. So if everyone turns on, all our presenters, if they turn on their mics, cameras again, then we can see everyone. That would be good. And I might, so I'll kick off, Jayshree, and then there's a question here already, which is probably, yeah, the visual fixation system. So the questions come in. How many hospital eye clinics are using it? Oh, Simon's the only one not here. So, Simon,
are you with us?
If I drop, everyone's on. So actually, if you unmute your microphone.
Okay.
Simon, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
It just says there's too many people in the room. That's why you can't see me.
Okay.
Well,
I'll drop off. Do I drop off, Nathan? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and then so Simon, do you hear the question?
I didn't. Sorry, I was trying to share the webcam.
Oh, okay, right. So the question was, well, there was two questions here. One of them, you may want to contact the person privately, but the second question was, how many hospital eye clinics use the the visual fixation system?
Visual fixation. It's at the minute because it was only launched last year. So people have had it for a month trial. So it's been in hospital eye departments. It's been in Leeds. It's in Ulster at the minute. It's been in Cardiff, Aston, Great Ormond Street had it, and Moorfields had it. And so all the feedback has been quite positive.
Brilliant. Okay. The second part of the question was the cost, and I don't know if you don't want to say that now. We can put you in touch with this person.
So it's been manufactured by Optical, so they're the people to talk about costs. Really, it's not, the cost isn't really to do with me, but it's depending on which handle that you get. But I think it's starting at £900 for this handle and the device, and then the knot handle is a little bit extra.
Okay. Brilliant. Jay Shree, do you want to do the next question?
Okay, so again, it's a costing question for Nancy, but I think you can chat about that offline if you want to, Nancy. For Mike, it says, Mike, is this system available in South Africa? Jeanette Roper has asked us.
Yes, it's available globally. So if you want to just send me some information, I can pass that on to a relevant colleague of mine who can be in touch. But yeah, absolutely, it's a global product.
That's great. Good stuff. I've got a couple of questions myself. So first question for Gavin. Gavin, in terms of the conditions, you talked about different conditions that are covered by the app. Can you give us an example of the different conditions that might be covered by the app?
Yeah, so and the beautiful thing here is that we're adding new conditions all the time. So late last year we added ataxia, and ataxia is something that affects balance, coordination, strength, visual impairment, hearing impairment, or sight and hearing, but it doesn't affect cognitive ability. But very few people have heard of ataxia, and yet 10,000 people in the UK have ataxia. Everybody's heard of guide dogs, and yet there are only 5,000 guide dog owners in the whole of the UK. So it just makes you aware that the balance is totally incorrect. But yeah, we're adding new ones all the time. So all we have to do to add a condition is for somebody to contact us. A lady with fibromyalgia contacted us from Orkney and said, "Oh, we haven't got this on your system." We said, "Yeah, okay, we'll add it." So added it, and you can do that within a space of a couple of hours. But we like to do it through contacting the charity that represents that particular condition, and we get them to give us the overviews and the top tips. We're not experts in all of these disabilities, although I'm aware of, well, I'm an expert professional in visual impairment as far as mobility is concerned. So yeah, we just bring in loads of new applications all the time, or new conditions. So totally pan disability.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay.
Brilliant. Thanks for that. I've got a question here that's from Gary, and I think he will hopefully ask directly. I'm going to see if I can connect to his audio. Gary Kuslu, are you there?
Yeah, how are you?
Hi, Gary. How are you?
A fantastic thing you've done here, innovation from 100% Optical.
Thank you very much. Well, thanks to everyone who's taken part, and Jay Shree, who has helped us come up with this idea. So it was a team effort.
My question's for Nancy. I really loved your video and the accessories. What prescriptions do you do your reading glasses in?
We stock +1 to +2.5, but the fronts are optical quality. So actually, once you have purchased them, they can be glazed to any prescription.
I'll be in touch. Very nice. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
Fantastic. Thank you.
And following on from that, actually, Nathan, I wanted to ask Nancy also. Are there any products available for guys? I know that you might not think of a guy wearing a necklace or a chain, but if you could have something chunky and that looks good, I don't know. Is there anything in the production line for gentlemen?
Well, yes, but actually, depending about how bold you are with your styling, there are actually gents and like DJs that are wearing the chunky chains. So yes, it's not for your traditional gentlemen, but yes, for sure we are seeing some sales of the chunkier chains going to those kind of, and particularly social media. You know, today with social media being so important, with the likes of Instagram, TikTok, these bloggers and influencers, they want to look different, right? So they want to stand out. They want people to engage with them and say, what are you wearing? Where did you get that from? If you're all the same, you won't stand out. So yeah, there are a lot of gentlemen that are wearing these, you know, to stand out and for that kind of engagement. But we are developing, yes, we are looking, and we are actually already working with suppliers to come out with the gentleman's offering. So thanks for the question.
Great.
Yes, we're working hard on that.
So
okay, and
this might be a good time to, and Nancy, you suggested doing a poll, and it might be a good time to do that. So maybe we could ask everyone now. We're going to do a quick poll. Nancy, maybe you could talk through, hopefully people can see this on their screen now. We'll just leave it open for a bit and see how many people can fill that in. Can you just sort of...
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, it was really a curiosity to understand if you're an optician or a boutique, if you are currently stocking glasses chains. So I was just curious to see the numbers, you know, to see what percentage of opticians are offering this. It may be a good opportunity to consider because it is another opportunity for a sell. And as they are trendy, and as I mentioned in my presentation, now that they're also being used as sunglasses and not just traditionally as being used for, we once had them, just recently there was an article in the Times, and they called them the spectacle seat belts. So there's a lot of press going on, and you have a bigger audience now, not just for your traditional reading glasses and optical, but also for sunglasses. So I was very curious to see how many are currently stocking sunglasses. And then my second question was obviously if you'd be interested in considering.
So what do you think the result is of how many people stocking chains?
I'll take a guess. I would say 60% are stocking in some way. It could just be that they offer one or two. And traditionally, when I've done my market visits, the offering is, for the most part, very simple cords rather than a stylish accessory. And I did not in my I do a lot of silent shopping, and I actually haven't seen any offering where the retailer can be selling this concept also as a necklace. And the interesting thing is that when we've attended trade shows, particularly 100%, we had quite a few people actually wanting to buy our product, not because of a glasses chain, but because they wanted the necklace. So yeah. I think that's where we also offer something different, because you have the ability to wear them independently.
So the survey we just did said 65%, so you were very close. 65% are currently stocking glasses chains.
Great.
Brilliant. So we've got any more questions here? There's lots of people wanting to get in touch. Which at the end of this survey, there's a question where we can, if you want to get in touch with anyone afterwards, we can put you directly in touch with people. So that should help with some of these questions that are coming in. Right, do we have any more hands raised at the moment?
Right, if anybody wants to contact me directly, then they can just find me on LinkedIn, Gavin Neat on LinkedIn, and I'll be very happy to talk to them there.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
Right,
I've got a question actually for Bhavin, Nathan.
Yep.
Bhavin, this system, is it sort of an out of the box system? Is that I was a bit unsure. Can you just explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, so we will provide a tracker and the software, and yeah, so we can deliver the system remotely. And it's relatively straightforward. You just install the software, plug the tracker in, and then it's quite intuitive anyway. I mean, I've got a 9-year-old who knows how to work it, so it's very, very easy. Then on an ongoing basis, we have a subscription model. So what we're doing is developing new tests. We've got an ongoing program, and what happens is all the information, all the results all get collated. All that data is anonymous, but we create norms, so we know how long it should take a child to read our standard text, at what age group, and where we can tell, are they reading it too slow, are they making too many eye movements, are they making too many mistakes? So we're refining that data on a continuous basis, which I think is very, very powerful as well. Sorry,
yeah. Right. Nathan?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, obviously, it's great to see the innovation. We've seen a lot of very innovative products and also things that can potentially problem solve as practices are thinking about reopening. You know, we could see stores on the high street potentially reopening in early July. So I was very interested to know from our audience, really, to find out where they, what they think is going to happen. So I've got two questions really. I was going to see whether we could ask them now. So the first one was, really about when, if you think you're ready to reopen, and if not, when you might be. So yeah, and obviously, I mean, does anyone want to sort of chip in and say what their experiences have been from having contact with optical practices recently? Do they think that there's a lot going on behind the scenes?
Is that a question for us, or is it your audience?
Yeah, for anyone, yeah.
Go for it,
I think
Simon.
there's a lot of work getting done. I think there's a lot of work getting done behind the scenes. I mean, we're still open for MECs, and I'm seeing probably on average about 3 or 4 MECs a day at the minute. My biggest problem is PPE. I ran out of gloves last week. I managed to get some more over the weekend, but that was kind of borrowing some from a different practice. So I think our biggest challenge on reopening is the PPE. To make sure that we have enough. I probably have about 25, 30 masks left, which is probably enough for 3 days of clinic.
So it's interesting, that quick poll we did there, Gavin, I'll come to you in a minute. I think it says that basically 30% of people think they're going to be ready, 41% not ready, and 30% say they'll be ready by the beginning of July. Gavin, what were you going to add to that? Oh, Gavin, I think you're on mute. Can't hear you yet. No, I can't hear you yet.
Okay.
Not sure what's happened to Gavin's audio there, but okay.
That's fine.
I might say that, I mean, from our practice point of view, that we've really had to reimagine the entire patient journey, right from when they call up to make an appointment, let them know what our new policies are, having, a closed door and just only having appointments only, spacing out the appointments, what we're going to do during the test, what we're going to do afterwards, how we're going to dispense, how we're going to disinfect the frame. So we've got kind of a framework in place, but it's only once we actually start practicing it, we'll have to refine what we're doing. But it's a completely new way of working.
Okay. Going to be a completely different industry as well, because at the minute we're based on the sale of a pair of glasses. I think that's going to have to change.
Well, this kind of leads on to my last question here, and just another quick survey just to sort of see what people. I was trying to get my head around. Do people think they're going to be busy when things get, when things start to open in July, hopefully, fingers crossed, or actually because of public sentiment that things will actually take a long time to get back to normal. So my last one was a quick question on that. So do you believe you'll be busy coming out of the lockdown? Yes, busier through to no. I think it's going to be very quiet. What do Simon and Bhavin, what do you think as people who are kind of probably thinking about this yourselves?
I think we're going to be busy for inquiries. I think we're going to have to be sensible about the patients that we see. I had an 84-year-old lady who was just finishing cancer treatment, and she was wanting to come in for an eye test. And she thought it was urgent that she came in, but it was a routine eye test. and she's at very, very high risk. And I think we have to be sensible and have to turn these patients away and tell them that it's not the right time for them to come in and out of the house. So there's going to be a balance between controlling the infection and doing what's best for our business. And I think it's going to be a very difficult balance to strike.
Yeah,
I agree. Because kind of seeing, we have to space out the patients. It's going to cost more, and there's going to be the patients who really need to be seen, and the patients who are going to have that fear as well that some of them won't want to go out of the house and start doing the normal things that we used to do. I think we've got all that entire spectrum to kind of consider.
Okay.
So
Gavin, you're back.
Yeah, Gavin?
I have a hashtag which is arrival anxiety, which I started this time last year. And it's a recognition that if somebody's anxious about going to a venue, then it will stop them from going to the venue. And quite obviously, in the world of disability, people are going to be incredibly anxious about going somewhere. Am I going to have to open the door myself? Is there going to be hand sanitizer? Will the person, if I'm blind, understand social distancing? Am I going to have a chair? Is the chair going to be clean? Am I going into a room where somebody's going to grab me, or whatever it might be? So it's reducing that anxiety that is going to be key to getting more people through the door. You'll have lots more phone referrals, people chatting on the phone, I'm sure. But when anybody comes in, they are going to be absolutely terrified of getting something, catching something. And all it needs, I mean, you can just imagine when the first few people who've been out to a medical center or an optometrist catch something, I caught this at, is going to be a killer of a headline. So businesses to reduce their anxiety by providing the services, and irrelevant of whether people are using Welcome, because we're not going to be able to get everywhere to stuff. It's getting that information out there to your clients and your potential clients that they shouldn't be worried about leaving their house. Well, they might worry about leaving the house, but once they get to the door, they need to feel they're coming into a safe zone. I think that's just a massive thing. Obviously, we can deliver that, but we're not going to get everywhere to start with.
I think what's interesting about this survey result, just to give you the answers, is 43%, which is the highest percentage, so they think it's going to be busier than it was pre-lockdown. 14% about the same. 39% it'll be quieter than it was pre-lockdown. So it's split, but it's kind of edged towards being busier. So we'll have to see, won't we? I guess what happens, but yeah.
Mike?
Yeah, I saw a poll on, there's lots of forums kicking around, and it's, I think, an approach to what might happen. And I think I saw one forum that categorized patients into sort of 3 areas. The patients that are already ringing and want an eye appointment now, and life goes on, and that stoic British approach to, we will fight them on the beaches and all that. And I think you've got your patients who are sat there thinking, well, okay, I'll wait until I'm told that I need to come in, and then when I do, we'll follow guidelines and we'll get on with things. And then I think you've got the third patients who are going to be terrified, just like Gavin said. And I think that, what we need to see, not just from the government, but hopefully from the industry, is some kind of leadership and some kind of advice to say, well, practices, this is what the gold standard eye exam needs to look like. From a safe perspective, both for practitioners and patients, and hopefully, that guidance will come, from our own industry leaders. I don't know, Simon or Bavin, has there been anything so far from the GLC or anybody like that that's given some kind of guidance as to, what it's going to look like and what people need to start thinking about? Everybody seems to be doing their own thing.
Yeah, I think everybody is trying to do the best, and I think everybody, the GOC and the college and everybody is trying to do the best, but no one's ever come in under this, it's never happened before. No, we've never had a pandemic like this. Just for example, the airport test tonometry, that's aerosol generating, and we don't really know what the risk is of catching something from that. And all these kind of things, there's a lot of open questions that, yes, I agree, we do need the guidance. I think we have to be sensible as well, because the biggest thing in all this is to control the virus. I think we have to be sensible. We should only go back to work when we're ready and when we can see patients safely. I completely agree that patients will be scared, and I think if you communicate what we're doing with patients, I think that's a lot easier. So when I've been seeing the MEX patients, if I've been doing an Optimap, I've been explaining that everything's been disinfected before you come in, and I'm offering patients a mask when they come in, and these things, I think it does reassure them. I think our communication with patients has to be better, I think.
Yeah, agree. I think the other thing is also the amount, the cleaning between each patient. Everything has to be, clean before you see the next patient, and that brings in the time element, doesn't it, of each patient? So it slows down how many patients you're going to see, but that way you've got assurance yourself that everything is done, and also you can reassure the patients as well. And also the number of different bits of kits you need to clean, I should think, also is key as well. So it can be very sort of difficult on our part to make sure that we feel comfortable with that, but equally we have to make sure that we're happy with what we're doing and providing the best possible sort of care for patients, aren't we?
Brilliant. That's true as well, because I have my own practice and I employ opticians as well, and obviously I want to make sure that all my staff are safe as well as all my patients are safe.
Absolutely.
So the two things go hand in hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, we had we got one hand raised here, so I'm going to try microphone here for Ain Chatu. I don't know if you can hear us. Nope, I can't turn the microphone on, unfortunately. Okay, so I think we've gone over a bit, but it's been it's not going to work. We've gone over a little bit. I think it's been really informative, and I think there's some really great ideas and products here that can help people be able to do as we're talking about here at the end, is practice safely and give assurance to customers and patients as we come out, because I think that's going to be the battleground, isn't it? Is making sure people feel safe when they come to see everyone. So, and for 100% Optical, it's similar. For the events industry, we've got a similar challenge on our hands as well. So I'm sure we'll be sharing and swapping experiences and best practice so we can all get it right. But so thank you very much, everybody. It's been really good, and I hope we can do this again very soon. As it is obviously all going to be available, the video will be available online, so you'll be able to go back and visit it. What I would also say is on leaving today, there is a short survey, which would be really helpful if you're able to fill it in for us, because we just wanted to find out a bit more about how we develop these, what products we might want to feature in the next one, and so on. So thank you very much for your time today, and thank you for filling that out if you can, and thank you very much to all our presenters. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, a great thank to all our presenters, definitely. Great stuff. Well done, brilliant, guys.
And thanks, Jay Shree, for helping me out and helping to deliver this format. So
that's all right, a pleasure. I hope I've done the job right.
Brilliant. I think it's been really good. I hope everyone has a nice week in the sunshine.
I'm in Scotland.
I live in the north of England. That ain't going to happen.
Okay. See you soon. Cheers.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.